Yeah, what's up, everybody? Geek Taxes Cypher, episode 329. I'm your boy Skinny. This is my boy Dave, aka
What up?
and we are the two patrons that'll be serving y'all today with your geekiest news because, well, I don't know where's Brian at. Don't know where Doc is, and
Because we never phone it in, sir. We never phones it in. We make it on time. We're like Tom Cruise. We're the Sami Zayns of the world. We never, ever phone it in.
Let's go. That's how we do. That's how we do, people. So yeah, we're here. Lots of geek news this week. Lots of stuff hit this week. Lots of craziness. Excited for it. I want to really touch on really quickly. Should we hit it with right off the bat? Turtles trailer.
Perfect. I was wondering if that was the layup you were going with because there was other things, and I don't want to have to stop this down. But we got to talk about this turtle shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
Within the first five.
Brian will disown us after this.
Yeah, they might. What's going on, Lee J? What's popping? What's going on? Homie, what's up?
But yeah, no, man, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem trailer finally released. It's from Seth Rogen of Pineapple Express.
My old work had something to do with that, so by technicality, I might have worked on this thing, and I just won't get credits because I don't work for them niggas no more.
Oh shit. But yeah, man, there's so much. So things I want to definitely talk about is visuals of how the characters look like,
fantastic.
The actual animation choice and voices. Those at bare minimum are the things I want to talk about in details.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm gonna say straight. Well, I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm not saying it's bad, but would you have chosen that type of animation for Turtles?
100%, yes. In current times, because it's what's going on right now, and with the success of Into the Spider-Verse and how that kind of I would definitely have leaned somewhere in that direction because traditional animation probably wouldn't have done it for this. With what they're trying to present here, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like the one thing, and it's not like I'm not trying to rag on it or anything. I do like obviously overall I'm super excited for this movie. Can't wait. I do think that Seth Rogen as a producer or is it producer and director or just producer?
I think producer more or less.
Yeah,
and he has a voice in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I trust it in his hands because he's literally us. Like you know what I mean? Like he grew up at our age. He understands the importance of Ninja Turtles at like our level and stuff. Not to say that the people before who knew Ninja Turtles before a cartoon wasn't like obviously you guys are huge nerd heads, but like Ninja Turtles started off of that TV show for a lot of people, the 1980s one, but for this or 1984 because it was when we were born, I believe, when it came out or shortly after it came out. But
89, the cartoon came out. The comic was like 84,
Yeah, 84 is the comic book, and then So that being said, like. I just wish it had more of its own style in the sense that, like, as you kind of said earlier, it's like, to me, it was just too Spider-Verse. Like, don't get me wrong, it's something I'll get over in like 2 seconds. But if we're going to nitpick, because at this point in time, if you're going to make any critiques, it'd be really nitpicking from what little we've seen, and what little we've seen is good. I was just like, I wish they would have been a little bit more different, I guess, than that. Okay. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I hear you. Your valid point. I feel like they did really well. For me, who is a crazy attention to detail type person, these turtles have odes to our old toys, as well as very much just in their look, odes to our old toys. In the toys that are coming out for these, they have big odes to our old toys. They have a pizza thrower within the turtle van. They literally put 2 in one vehicle. I am buying that. If I could get a picture of that, I will show y'all. But for now, I'm just going to keep focused on the look of these turtles. In terms of the animation style, because put it this way: did you watch the 2013 show?
No, that's the one. That's the animation. That's kind of it looks like this, but more rounder.
This is sketchier.
Exactly. More, right. The other one's cleaner.
That's more rounded and smoothed out. This is more like rugged edged and like sketchier. So that cartoon is similar to this, which is why I'm more accepting of this. And I understand Rise and then the TMNT was cool too, and it had like that animation style that was very popular at the time with like Steven Universe and Thundercats Ho and all them new cartoons, whatever. But like with this coming out, I feel like they could do a franchise of this and it would work pretty well.
I think what everything you said is correct in regards to the odes. It's funny. I don't know when it became super hip that Raph has like
a do-rag straight like around his head.
Yeah, because it's funny because you guys, I remember you were talking about once on the show where someone pointed out, you're like, yo, so Donatello, the Black Ninja Turtle. And you're like, what? And you're like, wait, that makes sense. With like, you had a whole epiphany on the show once, right?
Right.
Does this not like kind of start going against that grain at this point?
Why? With the glasses?
Well, no, but the concept. Well, first of all, but I mean, if you think about it, first of all, he looks like a nerd, and people usually think typical white nerd, right? And then Raph is the one with the do-rag.
Black, yeah, we see.
White guys don't wear do-rag.
In terms of speech, this movie is switched it all out completely. Like, you can tell Mikey is less surfer, more like current age kid, which would probably be a like person of color who's young. And then you also kind of get that in Donnie with the black nerdness, maybe. But he also check their voices, the same people. Raph is always going to be the New Yorker, so I don't know. His voice may evolve into that. We might see these kids hit puberty and go into being an adolescent.
That was something I was considering because I was like, some of them sound not like teenagers. They sound like children.
Right. Well, they're performed because it's made by actual teenagers, which is like the great part about it, is that actual teenagers is now the people voicing this, so they're gonna kind of, if they grow with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I find Donnie's voice has to evolve at the end because he sounds like they all. Let me put it this way: they all. If let's say you would say all of them sound like they're 15, let's say that's the goal.
Yeah.
Donnie sounds like he's like 10. Like he's. Like,
I don't mind Donnie sounding like that. Because I don't know. I don't mind Donnie sounding like a littler kid because it's Donnie. You know?
Yeah, but because you know what bothers me with it? It's because at the root is that technically, and this has always been the case, even when some people argue, oh, Raph was supposed to be the leader in the comic books or was the leader and blah 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 blah. But Leo's
that would never make any sense for Raph to be the leader.
But
why people say that.
But what I'm saying is this. Yeah. Something that's always been universal about these things. Mike is consistently the youngest. So it's odd that the person who sounds the youngest is Donnie. And even if you think about it, like even on size comparison to everyone, where all the other turtles are relatively the same height, Mike is visibly shorter than everyone, which also makes him look like he's the youngest, like he's a kid, and you don't give that voice to Mikey. It doesn't.
You're saying Mikey and Donnie should have.
The voices at bare minimum should have. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make one of them like that, you're gonna have to make it Mike. Unless again, if part of the movie is that Donatello is the one that grows up, let's say, the most and gets his voice and stuff, then that's perfect. It's gonna be perfectly fine. But like, you get where I'm going with it, though. It's just it throws me off. Like that with like the concept, like as I was saying before, like the only thing that was my critique, and maybe it's because it's my way of liking turtles, right? And what I like about turtles is different than, because like turtles is a very relatively diverse, like there's commonalities, like example, if you could compare the Batman, like his parents always die, they're always teenagers, they're always ooze, but there are a lot of different renditions of them over the years, so like you can get inspired by different ways. But for me, it's like the animation and with the voices there, I'm like it's a little distorted as I'm watching it, you know?
Okay.
But like, I don't think it's gonna be bad at all. I still think with what I saw was very good.
Fair points. I think it's really dope. I want to get back to the sewer real quick because it looks. I mean, not the sewer, the turtle van.
Yeah, go for that. That shit looks dope.
Did I close the link? Yes, I of course closed the link. Hooray! Let's go ahead and open that back up, and there it is. Yeah. This thing looks amazing.
Right? And like, I mean, the only thing I'm wondering though is that like, because like one would assume the pizza slicer thing somehow folds back into the car. Because it can't be just an open door the whole time.
No. That kind of switches back into the door kind of pushes back into it, and then the pizza thrower just kind of pops out. You have to press on the piece of pizza and then
Okay, so it's like you just remove it off the side of it, type thing. Because like, are you saying that you think that the slicer itself gets stored back into the van, or you remove it from the van? I think you might be muted yourself, sir.
Sorry, you push it back into the van, and the door closes, and then that's pretty much how it works. You press on the pizza slice on the top, and then opens back up, like it just shoots open.
That's what you meant. Okay,
like I get it. Yeah. Sorry, I was totally muted for a second.
No, it's because I was there. I'm like, you stopped at one point. I thought that was the end of your explanation and it so happened to be a point where you could have ended your explanation. I was like, wait, that makes no sense.
That doesn't make sense. No, it was just a very aloof.
But it does look cool. To be the one thing though, it's like it is more of a Scooby-Doo van.
Yes, and less of a turtle van.
Less of a turtle van / tank or whatever what you would describe. Because as a kid, it was like it was a van, but it was also like believable that van could have like went through a wall. This van looks like if you have a shovel, you could dent it pretty good.
Yeah, those are the toys look like. Which are okay. I mean, those are the first scale of them. They're not going to go nuts. I saw the sewer, and the sewer was crazy. It looked like something like it basically was like a mix of our sewer, like the old turtle sewer, and then a new age one. It was very, very nice.
I know the figs look decent, but I don't think unless the movie knocks it out of the park, I wouldn't be killing for these figs. But they are nice though.
Nice. I might buy the sewer set and the van. Not sure if I'm gonna go ahead and buy all of the turtles, but
you can't not buy all the turtles. What you're gonna have like two of them? You're gonna have one of them and be like, no, I'm doing the rest. You, out of all people, may ask you to look behind you before you answer that.
I just got a set of the old TMNT reissues of them that I opened and I gave to my daughter. So those are the turtles right now. There's a few other sets in the house, but those new ones, I don't know. If they come out, I get them. We see. I don't know. I don't know when that is dropping. August 2023. That movie's. I mean, yeah, we're 23. Dropping August 2023. I'm excited.
100%, 100%. Well, I mean, again, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be pretty sweet, to be honest. I can't wait to see what other characters they put in, or what the real boss is going to be, because like I have a sneaking suspicion you might not, for all we know, they might meet the Foot Clan in this one. Then they might not even necessarily fight Shredder.
Yeah, they clearly. I saw signs of the Purple Dragon, so I think they're going to meet the Foot Clan or something along those lines. They're going to meet the Krang, and then it's going to go into Foot Clan. Like they're going to do something. Yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope it does well, to the extent that I do want to see. I'd like to see a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle franchise go to like a solid third movie, and the movie be good.
The movie was good. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, like, example, like Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure. I like the Michael Bay films because if you ask me, the Michael Bay films are the closest to like the TV show / toys that we grew up with. I mean, you saw the Technodrome.
I just like the second movie. The first movie I could do without, but the second movie I liked.
The first movie, if you just block out like all the parts about April having a relationship with the turtles pre her meeting them when they're big.
Yeah, whatever.
Like you get past that, it's not bad.
Second movie is mine. I'm good with that one.
Yeah. The second movie, I think that second movie is.
I might rewatch that.
I might say that second movie is in the top 2 of the best turtle movies, technically, of real, of like movie, like real movies, like not like
I like that Michael Bay second movie better than Secret of the Ooze, because Secret of the Ooze is low-key trash.
Not low-key trash. It was low-key sellout.
They couldn't use their weapons. I say this every time. First one, transitioning to the second one, you're like, what happened?
Yeah, agreed. Well,
it's like the first time you meet a girl, she gives you like the craziest head in the world. And you're like, and then the second time it's like wild teeth. And you're like, what happened?
What happened?
That's what that is. Episode title. Yeah, I know. Look.
I need a minute. You fucking crazy, man. I gotta write that down.
Even as a sick dead man, I'm really so rocking it. She's like, what happened? Oh man. Woo! Speaking of toys, G.I Joe and Hasbro had their fan special today at 11 a.m. I tuned in while falling asleep. I've been sick, so I've been out of the commotion and been in and out of sleep all day. And I laid there. I laid there today. I'm going right back to back and shit. And as I lay there, I'm checking these YouTube's out on the old phonesy because I wasn't trying to be getting out of bed except for driving the kid to daycare and then coming back home and passing out. And yeah, some good drops. If I can pull these up, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But we got for anyone that are G.I. Joe fans, I am in terms of I watched the show a little bit and I was like, cool, these toys seem awesome. And then I bought a bunch. And then now I have quite more than a bunch.
The movie G.I. Joe Resolute is one of the best animated things.
I think I've seen that, and I don't think I've seen that because I've seen some G.I. Joe movie on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
It is I find it to be one of the best G.I. Joe stories. Okay. The original one where the guy actually turns into a snake and everything. That one was like a dope movie, but that's we're talking about OG G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But then G.I. Joe Resolute was something that came out I would say somewhere between the mid to late 2000s.
Is this the one where Snake Eyes goes and fights Storm Shadow to the death or something on a rock?
And it's dope, and you actually see the moment, and you see the history point where Storm Shadow does the act of removing his vocal cords.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. It happens in a shot, right? It's just a shot, but you're oh, that's why he can't talk. And then, he's killing his sensei in front of him, and then they have the beef after. I think it's a French animated film because that's the vibe I got from the drawings. But it's basically the G.I. Joes are also on the run because they're framed and they're fixing that at the same time.
Let me see this thing. Did I see this movie?
Because
I saw this movie. It
is one of the best G.I. Joe things.
Yeah,
I feel all the current toys and stuff are very much inspired from that.
It super is inspired from that and the old, because people complain like crazy. So they complain. I'm actually going to show pictures of Resolute and that. So let me just go ahead and present Chesleen and G.I. Joe Resolute. So yeah, G.I. Joe Resolute looked like this, and it was pretty. And yeah, I remember this. All Scarlet and the Snake Eyes and Destro and this, which I have most of these dudes, which is pretty sad for me. Because that is, hold on, don't tell me that is not Falcon. Homeboy, what's the name of the shotgun? It's gonna bother me. Gonna bother me either way. Know who that is? Then you got Beachhead, and then that is Gunho. This is Rock and Roll. So this is Stalker, Scarlet. Don't know who Mans is with the parrot, but I imagine that Shipwreck just updated.
And yeah, I think so.
I just pre-ordered Shipwreck today, which is going to get to the toys. The toys, let's say, they just announced and actually revealed for pre-order. They don't have one of them here, which is strange because I do actually, I did pre-order, which is nuts. But Bazooka, who looks...
Oh, shit.
No, that's not Bazooka. That's Rock and Roll, who looks fan-damn-tabulous. And if they would just open this, well, they won't open it because reasons, but yeah, just look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, share your screen for me to see that.
It's not sharing? Okay, hold on. There it is. Rock and Roll. Look at that.
That's huge.
You got Rock and Roll.
That is ridiculous.
Beautiful Rock and Roll. These pictures that are I don't know, not great, but all right. To go back, then they also announced that I don't know who Copperhead is, but he looks all right. It's just kind of holsters, guns, knifey, cool. For those who are listening on Spotify or iTunes or whatnot, you can just go to Amazon and Google and search G.I. Joe Classified, and you can find these, or we'll have these pictures up on our IG very, very soon. I'll put those up. Going back from Copperhead, they also had this is who I care about. I said this is my cutoff, which is Shipwreck. Shipwreck is my cutoff. Once I have Shipwreck, I don't need to collect G.I. Joes anymore. Why? Because I'm like 50 figs deep. It gets kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, it's G.I. Joe, dude.
You see, I didn't realize that. I thought there was like 10 good guys, and there's apparently like 30.
There's like a bajillion.
This
guy, you just don't remember them because every time you watch the show, there's like 5 of them. So you're like, oh yeah, the team. The team. So your brain is like, oh yeah, it's only like 2 teams of 5, and sometimes they mix. No.
Do you remember Torpedo? I don't remember Torpedo.
No, you want to know why? Because he showed up in the water episode. That's why he's here. His name's Torpedo Skinny.
I don't remember Torpedo. I do not. I don't remember Torpedo. I barely remember Beachhead. He was like one of the first figures that came out, and everyone was going nuts. Oh my gosh, Beachhead! I'm like, I don't know who that is for sure. Beachhead. I remember there being one black guy in jail. That was Roadblock. Apparently, there's several.
No, there's more. There's more than that.
Yeah, there's Stalker. There's the cliffhanger one.
Yeah.
There's the baseball shirt wearing dude who can't remember his name.
Isn't there one that's like red shirt, bald, and I don't know his name, but it's not Roadblock that I'm talking about. It's another guy.
Either Heavy Duty.
I think he had a white helmet that came with him, or maybe another.
Either Heavy Duty or there was one that was based on like Lawrence Taylor. Not Lawrence Taylor, but another football or basketball player. But yeah, I actually should Google that because that'd be terrible. But G.I. Joe basketball player. Yeah, there you go. G.I. Joe basketball player. Big Lob.
Lob?
Yeah, he threw mad grenades.
That is.
He's a former basketball player who speaks in sports commentator jargon.
You know what's funny? Now that you're describing him, I'm having like memories of like a G.I. Joe, like running and like doing like the throw and stuff. I'm like, is this something I'm making up in my brain right now, or is this like a hidden memory that is unfortunately confirming all this information you're saying right now?
No, he's a real person. Here is I just searched G.I. Joe basketball player, and you get Big Lob.
Oh my gosh! He even has like his jersey. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. They'll show you all them. That's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. All the same. That was cool.
But one thing that I know makes a lot of toys, and I know I collect all the Lego of it so far, is the Bad Batch came out this week again, like another episode. And dude,
I haven't watched the new season, and
you have to get on that. I'm just saying, you got to get on that shit. That's the thing I want to tell everyone on the show right now. If you don't watch Bad Batch or you're behind, get on that shit. It was like at first I was like, oh, there's no purpose to this season, and like this season has evolved quite nicely. Like it's an interesting perception of how what I believe is going to ultimately happen, which is where the clones are finally going to like. This is a premonition. This is not a show, so this is not what they've confirmed at all in the show. But I'm thinking that's kind of part of the direction that they're going in. Is that I think we're going to see like a clone revolt at one point in time, because you're seeing a lot of the clones randomly. Like there's been a lot of interactions that have shown that the clones are going to be ultimately replaced.
Yeah.
So already there's like motive there, but anytime you're seeing something about clones, there's like doubt about what's going on, or oh, why is this guy missing? Oh, he had, and they use some type of word where like we took care of him because he was thinking the wrong way, type thing, or doing the wrong thing, or like it's either missing in action or gone missing. You're like, well, missing in action means you killed him. Missing means he ran away. Like you're having those types of interactions, and it's also like I don't want to spoil it too much because like there's no way to like talk about an episode and not rag on about it and give out everything. Right. But like at first of the season is like, oh, this is not that it was rocky. It was good episodes, but one off. But then I find there was seeds that you didn't know were seeds, or hints that you didn't know were hints, because you didn't know what was happening in the next episodes. And when that was happening, you're like, we've now like developed into a very solid story of what the frick is happening right now. So it's like it's kind of like it's having like over the season, it's having the same effect as I gave We Have a Ghost. It's like you don't know what direction you're going in, and then at some random point you're like, all this makes sense now.
All of it makes sense.
Okay. Like all of it, like you're like, oh, and like because I remember because I was watching it, like there was an episode. Well, there was like more like the episodes obviously follow each other, but this one was like an indirect, really you're following each other. Yeah. It's because they get I'll say stranded, but to say they get stranded on a planet, and they're just figuring their shit out, and like during something that happens in it, I'm like, oh yeah, and like I thought it's like that happened in episode 2 or 3. I'm like, that's exactly at the time I was complaining that this wasn't making any sense. I'm like, excellent,
nice,
good job, like bravo on you on who wrote this. Thank you. But no, I think the last episode or close to last episode. Wait, hold on, let me see. I think because I'm not sure if I don't think the last episode I watched was the last episode of the season. It would have been a bit of an awkward ending, but I think it was today's. One sec, I'm just doing the old.
It's all good. New Mando came out today too, right?
Yeah. Did you watch it already?
I have not. I'll probably fall asleep to that afterward.
Oh, I'm hitting that up right after this. Oh, sweet. So there's actually another 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes to 16, so there's another 5 episodes, which is sick. But yeah, no, it's been a good show so far.
Okay.
I would strongly suggest it again. Try not to spoil it because again, it's not like it's major spoils. It's just that like the overarching thing that's happening is subtle, right? Like it's like they're having good one-off episodes while also creating this tether that's happening. And I noticed it's like one of those things where it's like they have a few episodes that seem very independent, and then there's like one episode that's like bam, like this is how everything connects, and okay, cool, we're all on the same page, and then let's have some other random episodes, and you think we lost our way. No, here's an episode that really solidifies everything out you've been seeing up until this point. You're like, all right. So I'm looking forward to what the ending is going to be.
Okay. Now I gotta watch. Definitely gotta watch. Whew. Speaking of things that I shouldn't have watched, though, that damn Chris Rock special. God damn, I want my hour back. And that was like live. Like it was live before it was like just a Netflix thing. They made like a whole thing out of it. It was what this special was called. Hold on, New Chris Rock. I'm just gonna put New Chris Rock. We are not prepared over here.
We are not, unfortunately, but
definitely not over here.
We still entertained though.
Selective Outrage. I am not outraged at all at anything within Selective Outrage. Selective Outrage, and this is my opinion only, so y'all can not get mad at me, please. Selective Outrage was not funny. Not funny, but I just didn't chuckle. It didn't move me. Like felt like posted on Twitter, a lot of it just seemed like workout jokes that weren't quite finished yet, and then he ended it with the Will Smith portion, which wasn't even that terrible. How he ended it was kind of like all right, and it wasn't even like that hardcore that he went in on Will. I expected him to go in way more for those that would go in on somebody.
But you're saying he didn't take enough. You're saying that he didn't really jab. I would have jabbed the shit out of him by now.
Well, he jabbed, but I don't think he jabbed him as hard as I thought he would within. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think
because that was like a big thing, man. That wasn't no small shit.
Right. So
unless they're actually friends, because they've been on. I don't know if they're friends in any shape or form, right. But they have been. They have crossed paths on things before. Like in Fresh Prince, they cross paths even.
Yeah.
It dates as back as that. So like. I feel like they know each other to a certain degree. So
I feel like they do too. So I don't know, but at the same time, I don't know. You have to watch it because maybe I just wasn't in the mood. Maybe I don't know. Again, I've been sick, so everything could be screwed up on my head. But it just wasn't. Yeah. And then Danielle was next to me, and she didn't really chuckle. There's a few things I laughed at, but overall, I was just like, I don't know. I liked Tambourine better.
Would you say that he was phoning it in?
No, I don't think he was phoning it. I think he was generally thought he was rocking it. Like he was like, but it just wasn't.
Were people laughing in the crowd?
People were loving it. People were laughing their asses off.
Maybe
my level of comedy has evolved, or I don't know.
Maybe it's a U.S. thing.
Is that a thing?
Well, I think every country has like a certain difference of what they find funny. Like a perfect easy example is like Brits, right? Like they're dry humor off bat, right?
Right.
Like, and like I'll tell you this, like I've been when I've been down south and whatnot, and if you watch one of their stuff, like it's a different style of what they find funny. Like theirs is a little bit more animated, let's say. Whereas like example, like we talk about Letterkenny, dude. Like we make fun of ourselves about that type of shit. Whereas like the States, like they won't make fun of that shit. They'll put it as a reality show.
I know a guy who finds Letterkenny like to be the show's name. Like he loves it, and he's from the States, and he loves it. He was like, "I love Letterkenny." It was like, really? Oh, okay. I like it too. It's a great show. But
yeah, but that's because like, we're Canadian.
Yeah, so I'm just like finding it great that he gets it. I was like, all right, you get it. Good.
So like it could be that because I imagine that it was filmed somewhere in the States.
Yeah.
Would you know where it was?
No idea.
Because I bet you if you're gonna do a live show, right? And I'm saying this obviously like I unfortunately haven't seen it yet, but if you're gonna do a live show, and you're gonna have it recorded. Doing live shows are one thing, but I feel if they have it recorded, you're gonna choose a place where you know the vibe.
He chose. It was in Jada Pinkett Smith's hometown. He filmed the Netflix special.
Oof.
Which I don't know where that is, but I mean, whatever. He's funny.
But like, because I feel like you would want to try and control the vibe so you can control the tribe, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, right. So I feel like maybe where that could have been a thing. Who knows? Because but mind you though, sometimes comedy specials aren't like. Sometimes it's better like. Listening to a CD is great, but sometimes listening to them live is great, but then sometimes listening to the CD is better. Like, you know what I mean? So it might be one of those, like, if you're there, yeah.
Yeah, true. You had to be there type of things.
Yeah, because I feel like, example, I watched, which one was the one I watched? I watched, what's his name? He's the Italian guy. Sebastian Maniscalco.
Sure. No.
He's an Italian, like, when I say Italian, he's like New Yorker Italian type thing.
Do you automatically say Italian like that now? Is that like because do you automatically just do the accent and then come down now? Is that like a thing now?
I don't think it's a thing. It's probably just the way how I say it.
Because like that's great, man, amazing. Because I swear this guy was like Italian. You're like, wait, what? What'd you just say?
Italian. Look, I obviously. So for those listening, my partner's Italian.
But it's funny because I know, and it's funny because I was like, is he doing that now because of that?
It for sure is. For sure is on a subconscious level. Thank you so much for pointing it out.
I did that to somebody the other day.
The good old hand wave, because you know what this is. This is a bouquet of this. That's what Italian told me. I'm like, that is perfect.
Jeez.
But no, like I watched. Similarly speaking, he had a special that came out recently. Don't get me wrong, he had a few good knocked out of the park, but overall, I was like you know,
a little dry.
Your watch, you're like
a little dry.
Let's bounce around. Let's have a bit of, you know, pizzazz, so to speak.
a little bit of, you know,
a little bit of juice, a little bit of oomph.
He says, "What's the gabagoo?"
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Where's the gabagoo? You know, Mad TV. Stop it. You know what I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ.
You just can't acknowledge that now.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not acknowledging anything.
You're not acknowledging.
I'm not doing nothing. You are not Roman Reigns. Screw your ass.
Acknowledge me. Oh man.
But you know what? I will acknowledge.
Yeah.
AEW had a pay-per-view on the weekend, and although I didn't get to watch the last match because it was an Iron Man match and it was like 10:45 when it was starting, I'm like, this issue is an hour. I'm not going to stay up that late. That pay-per-view was absolutely solid from beginning to end of what I did watch, minus there was a. So you had a few. Oh, sorry. Do you watch AEW at all? Or do you know who's there at least?
I tuned in. I know what's up.
Okay, well, like they finally had the Elite versus House of Black.
Yeah.
And House of Black is like amazing. It's three guys that when they got let go or released from their respective companies, I'm like, why would you do this? And then when they made their own group in AEW, I'm like, that's amazing. So
Buddy Murphy,
Aleister Black, and Brody King.
Yeah.
And also, I forget they have a valet with them. I forget her name at the current moment, but she was with the Varsity Blondes or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They put on like a stellar match, and it was one of those things where like you're expecting the Elite to win because they only recently got the titles comparatively. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're like, cool. And like, I was even telling people when I was watching, I'm like, the only thing that disappoints me is like, there's no way they're gonna switch the titles, and they should, because House of Black, like the people as individuals should have had titles in their respective companies before they left. Okay. Then they've been in AEW for a while, and don't get me wrong, they like, I know. So they suffered from like some people needing time off and whatnot and this and that, but like as a unit they've been so solid. You're like, the trios titles came out and you're like, there was 3 or 4 teams like, they need this. One of them was Elite. You needed them to be the first champions because they started the company. They were natural trios, whatever. They do that, and then the stupid thing happened with Punk and everyone got suspended. So then it, by default, goes to Death Triangle, which is a great team in itself, but like they're the other team. Like, okay, well, this is another like that. Those 2 teams plus House of Black were like, these are the ones that need the titles. All the other ones, let them do the chasing, but these ones are that need it because one's an enforcer group, one's been, and the 2 other teams have been the trios teams since the beginning of the company, and one of them are the owners, and the other one is that other triple team that, regardless of what the owners were doing, because they were helping out in every single form of the company, whether it was singles or tag team or whatever, they're supporting everything. And these guys have been a solid trio since jump. So you're like, I don't think they're going to win, so on and so forth. And then they put on an amazing match, and the Elite do the bow, and they give them the titles at the end, which was just like, fucking A. Like, it was like, honestly, one of the best freaking moments.
Well, by bowing to them, does that make the House of Black now faces?
Well, no, because how they won them, they like, they won them by being brutes. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't need help. They mind you, when you fight in a triple tag team, it's usually a bit of chaos. The rules are, other than using weapons, the rules are very often thrown out the window because there's too much chaos. But like, they did a great job of it. And like, the one thing that I love about AEW, which is not something that I find other companies do as well, is that they have a lot of talent. The talent is the talent. People like the talent, but they also don't like the talent. They're a neutral thing that just exists that people like. Like, example, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt in WWE, Seth Rollins as well. I would also say this for like Dolph Ziggler, Ciampa. Like, these are all guys that, like, it's your character. People will like you, people will not like you, whatever. But the point is, your character people want to see.
Yeah.
So that's what like the House of Black is, I find. Okay. Like, you guys are like, because you have so many people who like the wrestlers as individuals.
Yeah.
And then like as a whole, you're like, well, this is like, it's like someone being like, I like blue, white, and red freezies, and then someone gives the person like a rocket and you just blow their mind. You know?
Okay.
For those who might not know what a rocket is, that's something that might be a Canadian thing. I don't know, but it's like a popsicle. It's a 3-color popsicle of the colors I need.
It's the best popsicle ever.
Yeah, it's amazing. But no, that, and then top to bottom, the matches were all solid. Beyond that, which one? there was one another. The tag team match was surprisingly impressive.
FTR came back. I didn't think the Guns would win, but whatever.
Yeah, I actually thought they were gonna make.
I thought they were gonna go over to WWE again. I'd be happy, but whatever.
I thought that it was gonna be Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal to do it because of like needing of storyline. But had I known that FTR was coming back that night, I'd been like, well,
why are they doing that to Jay Lethal?
What do you mean?
My game, he's equivalent of being TNT champion. Why did Jay Lethal be teaming up with Jeff Jarrett and not really doing anything?
I think it's because they're trying to probably. I don't want to be very.
Either go to ROH or.
Well, to be honest, I think it's because they're trying to appease and trying to make better that tall guy.
Right.
I don't know if he's Arabic or.
Yeah. Who are you talking about? Yeah.
Like that huge guy. I think he's a basketball player.
Yeah.
I hate that I can't remember his name at the moment, but I think it's because they're trying to give him as much rub as humanly possible and not so much working. But for me, it's like I would, if I was them, I would actually remove Sanjay or make Sanjay Dutt someone else's manager because he is doing a good job of being a manager. Yeah. That tall guy, like, no offense, man, unless you're wrestling,
get out of here.
Get out of here, man.
Like, should be on his own, I think.
You don't need another. What was his other name? Great Khali. You don't need a Great Khali in your.
Yeah.
You think, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's not anything against, like, make a buck and do whatever, but like he's literally not contributing at all, or very, very, very minimally. And like after being on TV for months, like, why aren't you not in the ring every other day training so that you could do more than like he doesn't even slap, he just like pushes things.
Can't even push very well either.
No, he can't push at all. He pushes horrible. But like no, like honestly, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett I find would be much better as either make them a serious tag team together and remove this noise.
Can Jeff Jarrett still work?
Jeff Jarrett still wrestles, man. And like to be honest, I would actually remove Jeff Jarrett as a wrestler, period.
Yeah.
Or make him like a wrestler, like I wouldn't say part-time, but like but like only if someone needs a storyline and you need someone good who's gonna like deliver and maybe he could win a few and maybe he could lose a few. Jeff Jarrett's losing streak doesn't matter. His reputation being Jeff Jarrett is what matters. And Jay Lethal, like, again, kind of not as bad as Jeff Jarrett, but to a certain degree, Jay Lethal should be a permanent, like, he should be fighting people more often. He boosts the other wrestlers that he's in the ring with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He makes everyone in the ring look good, regardless if he wins or loses. And he is damn ass solid. I mean, there's a reason why ROH, he was not only a dual champion for so long, but he had like the TV title for like 2 years. There's a reason. It's because he was that good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the TV titles, well, the equivalent of the TV titles, I'm a little disappointed that Wardlow won the title against Joe on the weekend. He won the TNT title, which ironically the next day his car was stolen from his car, which I'm hoping is an ultimate work because for me, so first of all, I want Hobbs to win that title. Hobbs is fighting the winner of this match.
That whole Taz team thing broke up.
Oh yeah, a long time ago. That's done. That's all done. They're all on their own thing.
Because that was stupid.
Actually, Ricky Starks had a match against Jericho to start off the pay-per-view, which was pretty solid, and Jericho put him over, which was pretty solid.
Okay. What was that belt? The FTW belt, world belt?
That is with Hook.
Hook is his son?
Which is Taz's son. He still has it. He defends it sparingly, which is like a little annoying. But mind you, like he's having like a mini, whatchamacallit, Goldberg problem.
Yeah.
Like him and Wardlow were having mini Goldberg problems. Jade Cargill is having a major Goldberg problem, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In the sense that like you've drawn out them winning too much, or you didn't do it right. So Cargill, they've been doing it way too long. She needs to lose. Like no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're holding the women's TBS title ransom while doing it is annoying. Wardlow, they did a bad dismount with him with his first loss. His first loss should have gone down a little differently. Right. And for what's his name, Hook, it's more he wins matches, but you made less of them, and like you kept on making him fight too many basic guys. You should have been more mid-carders, and they should have been for the title more often, so it meant more. But that's a whole other thing. But back, what was the match? Oh yeah, so Wardlow, I'm hoping that's an ultimate work where Hobbs stole the title and is just like, I'm gonna beat you anyways, so I stole it. Because he did a lot of street on the street or behind the scene type videos for a while to make his Book of Hobbs character go through the roof, which I actually enjoyed. So it's a possibility that it could be a story arc, but like maybe not.
Let's see. We shall see.
But,
shall we get into the news?
I think we shall.
We don't have that song. Where the hell is that song?
That song we do not have. That song is held ransom by Brian. So
Geek news or rumors. John Barenthal is returning as the goddamn Punisher.
I cannot wait. I'm so happy.
I mean, we all knew it was gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, but like we were worried, man. They weren't signing anyone else.
They don't need to sign anyone else.
Because to be honest, out of that universe, I want to see Luke Cage again.
He's confirmed. He's not confirmed, but like they're like basically being like,
yeah, but I don't know. Because he has other shows and stuff, right? But I want
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones have been shown like they're taking pictures together. They're in it, man. They're gonna be there. They just haven't announced it yet, but they're there.
They better I'm sorry to say, you got to recast. If you're gonna bring Iron Fist back, you have to recast.
If they haven't announced Iron Fist yet, then they're recasting Iron Fist.
Yeah, they better fucking recast them. I want to see
recast him as a current Asian Iron Fist, just so that people aren't like, but you know.
Just do Danny Rand normal, man. That's fine.
But then that's so broke that they're gonna do everybody but that Danny Rand just because like nobody liked him as a character. Wow.
No, that's dude, tough. He was. Let's be honest. Like he was not passionate about that.
He was phoning it in, maybe.
Dude, he wasn't even phoning it in. Like he perfectly said it was. He was garbage. People always said like if you're gonna take on that role, there is a certain degree of physicality you have to adhere to. And you
okay, Master Splinter.
That damn straight, whiskers and all, motherfucker. That's don't funny. Phone it in.
That's funny.
Don't phone it in.
Physical he was adhered to.
Dude, it's true. Like, come on. Like that was like I remember watching the first season. I'm like, when's he gonna pull out his gun? Because I don't believe that he's a fighter. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, where's the gun? Where's the bow and arrow? Where's the knife? Where's the something that makes me believe you're gonna win this fight?
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cold.
It's true.
Jeez.
Sorry, bro. And even at that, even being like I'm sorry. I was gonna be like, even his dramatic moments weren't that great, dude.
They weren't that great.
He was the CW of Netflix. Him in himself. He was the CW of Netflix.
That's a reference. That's a reference. He was not that great, but god damn. Either way, Punisher's coming back for Daredevil board again. I am happy. Happy. This is great. And that seems to be still on schedule for the whenever next year. So let's go.
Well, I mean, I just want to see it happen, man. The only thing I'm worried about in regards to that is how much are they gonna hold back the blood and stuff, like
there wasn't all that much blood in Daredevil, man.
Not Daredevil, but you're bringing in the Punisher.
Oh no, they're not gonna have him go cray if they
like
do,
you have the Punisher. You have the Punisher. Yeah, and
Disney Plus has been promoting some other stuff too, and they're like, this could easily be like a
Because I'm sorry, you know what I want the cross contamination of this to ultimately be? I want them to somehow make there to be a beef between Castle and Kingpin. Like you can't
them fighting.
Yeah, like because in the wasn't it true in the comic books that it was Kingpin who told the people to do the killing? of his parents, of his family.
So much. I don't know much Punisher, but maybe that could be true.
Well, like, but I would say do some type of connection because him and Kingpin have always had beef. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And having them now potentially on the same show, it's like, dude. Like
we'll see. They're gonna save it for something. I feel like they're gonna do like Devil's Reign and make it like a TV Disney Plus movie and build up to that. Just like they did for Defenders, they're gonna build up to Devil's Reign where Kingpin is now mayor of New York because things got all shucky jucky after Secret Invasion.
That'd be hype.
I mean, that's probably the way to go. If you want to make Daredevil lead and you want Daredevil to take over TV like people want him to take over the TV and basically Iron Man that shit, that's how you would do it. And
well, I mean,
pay me, but yeah.
but it's funny that you say that, but wouldn't you say that would be the smartest move for them?
Yes.
Like it'd be like
I'm literally giving the idea away. Yes.
Like
do Devil's Reign. Devil's Reign just happened in the comics. It'd be current enough. It went after Street Heroes. Street Heroes are there. Do it.
The only thing
Kingpin didn't die at the end of that, so you don't have to kill him. He just goes to prison.
Yeah, I just hope, to be honest with you, if Luke Cage gets his own show, cool. I just don't want Jessica Jones to get her own show again.
She's not getting her own show. They're all going to make appearances in Daredevil. That's why Daredevil gets 18 episodes, because Daredevil is going to be the show for all these street.
So you think, so it's going to be like the Defenders? He's going to be like it's going to be Daredevil.
It's not Defenders. It'll be Daredevil, and like maybe an episode. It'll be like Team Up. Maybe an episode you get him and Luke. You'll get him and Jess. You'll get him and Punisher. Maybe for 2 episodes you'll get him and Punisher. Like it'll be a comic book. 18 episodes are shooting that shit all year.
I honestly, let's say if they were to do spin-offs off of this, I'd be stupid down for a Punisher to come back as Punisher, because I'm like although the second season of Punisher I wouldn't say was as good as the first season of Punisher.
Disney doesn't hire you for one-offs.
Well, that's
not Marvel.
Not usually, but for me, it's like season 1 was great. I should say Punisher. Season 2 was good, but like I could see why people would say it wasn't as good as the first. Sure,
I never finished it,
but the ending of season 2 was like, yo, he's finally like. There's there's the transformation episode where you're like,
but tell me, I didn't see it.
Okay, so like the whole time he's Punisher in the sense he's punishing, he's doing the Punisher stuff, right?
But he's not Punisher.
But he's not Punisher. The last scene, I'm sorry to do this to you, but like I'll say it as much without giving away.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I mean, you are late by like 3 years, so that'd be on you. Yeah. So, and spoiler alert for anyone else, and screw you at this point, because again, same thing. It's been too long. The last scene where it's like, it's like everything happens. There's going to be that scene where he comes back to just show that he's still punishing and stuff, so to speak. Yeah. That last scene is like, going. They go. There's like a warehouse or whatever. Yeah. He ends up like getting into panel, and it's like Punisher outfit, like minus like white gloves, like it's Punisher.
Oh, word. Yeah, Michael, I'm still gonna watch it. I know, right?
I don't give a crap of Nosfed. I'm sorry, you waited too long.
Since it's gonna go into continuation of Daredevil. Damn, you're a dick. No, so he was actually like Punisher.
But he's Punisher. So I remember like sick. Like I was so happy, and then like the same week or whatever, like we canceled them all, and you're like, well,
there you go. So this is a shot to Netflix. Dude, everything's fine. Everything will be good. Don't worry.
So like for me, it's like I would be super down for got to my point. Super down for a Punisher spinoff. Would be down for a Heroes for Hire spinoff, but like Jessica Jones and Danny Rand, I do not want to see a show just about you guys. Sorry. Have your stories combined, because all of your episodes every episode of their shows have always been drawn out because they don't have any filler. Right. Heroes for Hire is how you can fix that problem. Luke Cage could support his own episode, his own shit, but if you're gonna have Luke Cage and Jessica Jones ultimately be together, which I feel is like kind of a hint they were doing before, you may as well just put them all in Heroes for Hire type thing.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how I would do it. Plus, at the same time, you don't want to oversaturate. And I think Marvel got onto the concept that they were oversaturating the market. Because you've noticed everything slowed down.
Bob Iger got out and he was just like, y'all need to slow this shit the fuck right now.
Yeah, he's like, yes, we are making millions of dollars, but we can make billions if you just wait.
Chill the hell out a little bit.
You know?
Who's pumping this out like
let them enjoy it for 5 seconds and actually sell the merchandise for that show that we invested a bunch of money in, because now you're giving them too many options.
I
mean,
yeah.
You know, I'm not lying.
I mean,
like, you can have your own line of Marvel Legends for this show and this show and this show, because you put everything out at once, you only get to select certain characters.
Well, I mean, I'm just, if you want to go and really talk about that, I haven't bought any of the new TV ones, because not only do you know they're going to release better versions later, but it's like, this person just died. Right? Like, so I have a Jane Foster Thor from the Thor movie. Didn't open the fig. Watched the movie. Jane Foster dies. Fuck am I opening that figure for? Same thing. It comes with a Teen Groot. I haven't opened the fig yet. Seen Thor Love and Thunder. Then the Christmas special for Guardians come out. Groot is now a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in a tree form. What am I opening that Groot for? It doesn't make sense. They released a whole wave for What If, with like Zombie Scarlet Witch, Zombie Iron Man, He Who Remains, Agent Wu, a Red Skull, and the old school Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 4 of the 7 characters I mentioned are currently dead. Fuck am I buying those figures for?
Because
that old school Loki died. He Who Remains got stabbed in the chest, dead. All right, zombie, already dead. Red Skull from the cartoon, super dead.
But doesn't that make them?
Agent Wu and Howard the Duck as a last fake are the only 2 that are still alive.
But don't you get them because of the fact they're rare and because they made 1 appearances, or you're saying that because of that it's like there's no point in investing?
Because of that, there's no point in me getting this figure, because they're not going to make a second version of them. They're already dead. I'm not going to see them again in the show. What do I buy you for? It's like, yeah, you guys make 90 different kinds of Captain America, but at least I know that there's going to be Captain Americas all the way. Cool, fine. But if you're going to go make a Jane Foster Thor and in that same movie kill Jane Foster, the fuck am I buying that figure for then? Why'd you just tell me that? I'm just saying. Like, that's me. Me.
Yeah, but don't they also make all those a Build-A-Fig? Is the Build-A-Figure?
No. So like this wave that I was just talking about, they made it a Build-A-Figure, and that Build-A-Figure was Khonshu from Moon Knight, which, if you don't care about Moon Knight like that, you really only need one figure from Moon Knight, which is Moon Knight. That's it.
That's fair.
They even have Agent Moon Knight, like the suit one, and I'm like, no. Why? I have him. Why am I going to buy the dorky one with suit? No,
that's fine.
Exactly. Michael says he got the Jane Foster. Exactly. And then you see the movie and you realize, oh no, she died. Hope you saw that movie.
Just spoiling all things. All things late. Y'all late. Anything past 6 months, it's your fault.
Oh, I did get this, which needs to be opened. I haven't opened this yet, but I got Banshee.
That's triple though, right? There's
3 packs. So there's Gambit, there's Psylocke, and Banshee in here from the.
It's Gambit.
Yeah, that's Gambit. It's Gambit from X-Men 275.
Oh yeah, but it's that hideous costume.
This is all based on that hideous costume that you don't like, that I love.
I hate that costume so. No, I love the costume, but I don't think it makes sense to be on every character.
Well, that's why they only did it the one time.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, because I remember seeing that box. I'm like, that's probably the best Banshee you're ever gonna see.
Yes.
But if I was let's say I was, because don't get me wrong, I've actually I've gone a little fig crazy as well recently. Yeah, but I'll show you in a sec. Actually, I got some dope ones. But for those ones, like I saw Banshee, I'm like, that's amazing. But if I was to be collecting figs, I would be still I don't want to buy this because Psylocke is okay, right? Like she looks all right, but I look at Gambit like that, and doesn't he come with a stupid bag so he could hold his cards or something as well?
Yeah. But have you read the comics? You've read the comics. You know what this is based on. Okay, so 275 Professor X comes back. They're wearing all these joints. They jam off to the Shi'ar Empire to do some kind of shit. fight the Shi'ar, the Imperial Guard, but then save Lilandra from Deathbird or some kind of thing. They go
and it's like some type of game they play or whatever. So they
some kind of thing, yeah.
It's like doing like it's like they're fighting an arcade version of space, but in space.
Yeah. So they go ahead and do that. They save Professor X. They do all that kind of thing, or some kind of stupidness, right? And then within them coming back, shit's going buck wild at Muir Island, and Shadow King is like, oh, like Shadow King's ruining things. Shadow King took over Legion, and now he's just running amok on Muir Island with all the mutants there. So then Professor X comes back down, because you notice how Cyclops and these niggas are there, right? This is 80s X-Men where X-Factor, Cyclops and them weren't there. So they come back down, they go to Muir Island. Cyclops is like, hey, yo, listen, this dude's about to like really fuck shit up. Professor X, we need your help. And he's like, damn it. He doesn't want to do it, but he does it. And he goes in and fights Shadow King. Of course, Shadow King goes and stabs in the back in the freaking, like, astral plane. So obviously he's paralyzed again. After he just done coming back from the Shi'ar Empire, getting fixed and getting the ability to walk again and being fine, being cured of some near-death thing that happens to Professor X every 2 weeks. Comes back, fights Shadow King, gets his ass beat, gets his ass paralyzed, and then that's when you have all three teams of the X-Men there, which now then forms Gold Team and Blue Team and X-Factor as we know them. So yeah, they only wore those costumes right before they switched into the costumes that we know. And that's
which we know and love.
I can live with them and without them. I don't mind them. But I just have these because I need my Banshee. Even though this is not the Banshee I want the other one, the green and yellow, which is eventually going to come out.
Yeah, but that's like OG Banshee. That's like before he was an X-Men.
No, he was an X-Men, but not an X-Men. He was kind of X-Men. I don't know how it worked. He was like there, but not there always. Sometimes there's a few comics where he's like Banshee's just on the cover, and then he's not. It happens with Angel too.
Yeah,
those old X-Men comics are nuts.
Yeah, but the old X-Men comics, like. I this is a bold statement, but like I find like Gold Team and Blue Team concept don't break something and don't fix something that ain't broke. Like that's the one thing that I wish they would somehow in the regular comic books delineate back to. But like the current comics though are like really peculiar. Like fun fact, like Beast in the comics is basically I'm torn because I'm happy
now. Yeah,
but he's like officially Dark Beast now. Like I read a comic, so I read I'm reading X-Force right now, and X-Force is all the stuff that's happening on Krakoa. Beast is in charge of X-Force, and the last few comic books I read, literally him departing Earth in a secret like teleporter where he teleports to a prison he's made in a pocket of space that no one can find him, where he's experimenting on anyone and everyone who's ever posed any form of threat to the mutant race.
Nice.
And like he's like testing things out on people, like experiments, and like you see him like do a guy, oh, you good job. Your contribution to this was really, really good, and now I got a lot of good data. And as you're suffering a little bit right now, presses a button and just throws the guy into space. Not a pod or anything. You literally just see body fall into space. The guy dies. And you're like, yo, like you are fucking Dark Beast 120% now. Like you have crossed the line in my brain. It's not going to happen. I don't know when this happened. I'm actually curious if they're ever going to like one day be like, our Beast was actually thrown into another whatever.
Well, he met Dark Beast at one point. Like there was a whole time when like the X-Men from the past came back towards present day and they were hanging out for a bit. You remember
that's what fucked up Beast.
Yes.
Since that's
what fucked up Beast. Beast meeting himself and then meeting Dark Beast many times when X-Force, the first X-Force or Wolverine, or second X-Force or Wolverine was going out there and doing all these death missions and they ran into like Age of Apocalypse people. Yeah, that's what messed up Beast. Is him meeting himself and being like, oh, where we can do this?
Dude, it's like I'm reading it, and the sad thing is like I was years ago, I was like, our current Beast is like getting a little stale. I ultimately think he would be more entertaining as Dark Beast, and he's gonna be more entertaining. But like, I wish I didn't put it up in the ether because like I am now slightly missing my like trusty Beast.
It's a build to get it there, but I think it's cool. And most of those Krakoan X-Men, in terms of fig form, I already have, except for like, what's his name? The guy who's on Generation X there.
You have Psylocke with her messed up arm?
What happened to Psylocke?
Sorry, not Psylocke. Domino.
Domino. What happened to Domino?
Domino in the X-Force comic books, someone abducts her. So there is another person who's doing their own experiments, obviously on mutants and trying to steal their powers and shit.
Yeah.
And in trying to steal Domino's powers,
he cuts off her arm.
He pulls off all sorts of skin off of her and actually attaches it to other people to give them luck.
What?
And when she gets fixed, like it's so bad because usually they rejuvenate people, but like obviously enter whatever fancy excuse they put.
She's already alive, so they can't really kill her.
To some type of bio healing thing, and like her hand can now turn into like a gun. Like it transforms and shit. So like when you said you had the Krakoans, I'm like,
I have Krakoans. So like I have Professor X because they released a wave. So I have Krakoa. I have Vulcan, Magneto in his white costume, Jean Grey in her old school Jean Grey costume because that's what she was first wearing. Cyclops in the current X-Men one, Wolverine is one, and Professor X with the helmet.
Because
that's trash.
X-Force has been like an interesting and sorry, this is not really Geek News and Rumors, but we've gone on this tangent, so I don't enjoy. But like the X-Force comic books have been like I won't say heart-wrenching, but like very twisted in how I feel. Like I'm like, I do enjoy this, I like this, but I hate that this is happening to my team. I hate that it's happening to like the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's the X-Men world is almost becoming like the Walking Dead. Like you know how the Walking Dead TV show, you're like, I've just now am watching a show to see all the people that I like die. Like that's like how it feels a little bit with the mutants now. I find a little bit with with what I've read. Mind you, I haven't been reading I haven't been reading as much
no, it's just
Marvel, but like it's dark. It's like why can't we just like be a little happy? Like it's like you open up like an Avengers comic book and they're like ho, and then you look at X-Men and like everyone's at a funeral all the time, or like there's always something drastically bad that's happened, and you're like, not cool.
No, wait until you realize we're in Avengers versus Eternals versus X-Men or something. Well, one dude goes to Arakko. Yeah, one dude who's an Eternal who's like Thanos' uncle goes to Arakko, obliterates like mad mutants in like 30 minutes. Like kills all of them. All the Omega level mutants live on Arakko, right? So Magneto, Iceman, Storm, all of them. Storm's a leader. All of them. Kill them all. Done. Not only that, but in that same story, Earth finds out that the X-Men can rejuvenate themselves. So I think because of that, by the end of the story, the X-Men can no longer do that. So it's like now it's truly like a one-off. Like you can't be like, oh, Cyclops died, and we just bring Cyclops back. It's like, no, if he's dead, he's dead.
Oh my gosh! Like that's the thing. It's like I find that for the mutants, ever since the result of House of X, like the concept, like now there's like a small mutant populace or whatever. I just find like the writing for it, minus like there was a period of time where there was Uncanny X-Men and Wolverine in the X-Men, and it was like the two different types of classes, one being led by Cyclops. One that was good. That was like, okay, we're at least going back. We're like, that's where I thought the adjustment was happening. We're gonna go back and all of our people are alive again, and like we're gonna fix this because this is stupid. But then now they're doing like the same thing again. I'm like,
it's 6 men left, that's why, but we'll see. You'll probably fix it again.
But like for me, it's like reboot this thing. Yes, they're subject to the equivalent. I've always found the mutant with how they've derive the mutant story to be always like, well, this is basically trying to teach people about racism, but extreme cases of racism, right? And that's why it's like, yeah, this is stupid. Why would anyone want to do this? And then you see it in real life, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, yes. We're silly humans, right?
You know, right? Like, we're just stupid humans. People who could write cartoons know better than us. But like, just fix this. Like, it's, still make it about that. Like, we have to fight the good fight, sure, but like this concept of like we're warring so much that when we die we have to rejuvenate ourselves because that's how much like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, in the first House of X, Powers of X, when they went to that part, they went to that basically on a suicide mission, and then Nightcrawler's like, "All right, I'm gonna teleport you to the sun," and you're like, "What?" And like in one panel, you see Nightcrawler teleport Wolverine, and the next one they teleport and instantly. Nightcrawler just burns up. And you see Wolverine going at like the head of this like sentinel thing. I'm like, this is stupid. Why are they doing these suicide missions? But I mean, hey, hopefully we won't get that in the movies when we eventually get them. I'm hearing that
man,
moving Secret Wars to 2028, and I'm just like, man, can I wait that long?
I don't want to wait that long for fucking.
At the same time, I will if it's gonna be good.
I'm telling you, man, I want them to. They need to pull the trigger on mutants, man. I'm tired of this shit.
They will. They're not going to take their biggest ace, which is let's fix
biggest ace. But how long are you going to wait? Like 30 years before you release an X-Men movie?
What are you talking about?
You've had the rights.
X-Men 97 is coming back out when? This September.
Yeah, but that's just a TV show, man.
That's just a TV show, right? It's also been the only solid reference to mutants now. So if I feel like what they're going to do is use X-Men 97 to establish where the mutants and how the mutants came up in the MCU. Meaning, they're going to take them cartoon motherfuckers and make them the X-Men of the MCU. Just using the cartoon as their backstory. It would be great.
I don't know.
It's flawless, almost. It's almost flawless.
I don't know.
Because think about it. Every time they mention mutant, they do the and they're obviously bringing the show back. That's going to have that show cartoon. It's going to have the theme song. So if we're setting it in 97 and most of the old Ant-Man stuff, it was in the 90s. Yeah. They can somehow just roll that into, we've been around. Just watch a cartoon.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, that could work. All to say, back to news.
Batman Part 2 is going to start filming in, I think it says February, but I think that's a typo. It's actually November 2023. Sorry, that's my bad on a typo. So November 2023, which I'm super happy about because, again, I don't want to wait too long for that movie. Because I'm really hoping that they're going to do a few with, I'm surprised to say this myself, but I hope they do a few with Robert Pattinson. He did a pretty good job as Batman and as a Bruce Wayne, and I'd be curious to see how this goes, but, we'll just have to see.
I'm cool.
Star Wars, Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins, who was the director of the Wonder Woman movies, their Star Wars movies have been shelved officially, which I believe was supposed to be Rogue Squadron-esque, which is a little disappointing because that would have been really cool on a visual scale. And I believe she has like a family background with the Air Force and stuff, so it would have been really cool.
Do Rogue Squadron? Oh man.
Yeah, they were gonna do. I know they were gonna. I'm not sure if they were doing per se Rogue, because I know Rogue Squadron is a specific story as well. Yeah. But they're doing about like a bunch of X-wings and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Rogue Squadron. But apparently, Taika Waititi's film is still gonna be going forward, which, to be quite honest, I would have rathered his shelved than the opposite. Not to say anything against Taika, but like at the same time, like you've had a pretty long time in the limelight, in the spotlight. You could share the wealth.
No sharing. No sharing.
And that's about it for the rest of the Geek News and Rumors.
Word.
Well, so with that being said, Skinny, you want to give out any shout outs?
No, I don't have any shout outs this week. Not this week. Next week maybe, but not this week.
Fair enough. I'm just going to say visit the Instagram. Go get Geektastic Instagram. Go find us on what's website FA.
Yeah, free exchanges or FA. There's FA.com, or sorry for the old FranklinArmstrong.com, where you wouldn't want to really visit that, but you could because things are wild outdated over there. You can follow us on IG. You can subscribe to us on Twitch and on YouTube. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We are all over the place. Just type in Free X Agents and you'll find us. And for more Geektastic Cypher, we have a link below where you can check our old episodes because there are 329 of them. If you're listening to us, please go back to our old episodes because I swear we predict things that are happening now in the Marvel Universe. Punisher John Bernthal exists because of me. Moon Knight, yep, spoke that one out too. We are all here. We'll be back next week for 3:30. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Man, gonna do the outro too, like magic stuff.
I'm gonna do it.